Yossi, Dany, Tanya, students of Shalom, ex-students of Shalom, colleagues. You have heard until now 4 of the most distinguished members of Tel Aviv University. And I'm proud that I advised Gadi about them. Itamar made order. I just want to add one thing, that Giora is a doctor of physics, not only a business entrepreneur and so on and so forth. So he knew what he was saying also in this respect. And Yoshua, this was not mentioned, was the president of the Israeli Academy of Science, in addition to many other things. Okay, I know Shalom since 1965. I came to Tel Aviv University, a very young man, and at that time Shalom was the head of the Department of Mathematics, or maybe it was called Applied Mathematics, I'm not sure even. Yoshua was here already. Chabash mentioned that he had not been here, but actually came over. And Shalom was immediately after the dean, became the dean of not the Faculty of Exact Sciences, as was mentioned here, but of the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, like it was in Jerusalem. And this included the exact sciences of today and the life sciences. Now, again, this shows the best part in Shalom, and I will mention it a few times, that the faculty split into 2 after Shalom finished as dean. The life sciences split from the exact sciences due to conflicts that I will not go into, and some of the older guys here know, but it split immediately after him, and then exact sciences had a physicist as dean, and life sciences had a guy from biochemistry as dean, and then Shalom became vice rector and pressured me to take over the Department of Mathematics at that time, and later on as Dean of the Faculty of Exact Sciences, the second Dean of the Faculty of Exact Sciences. And he actually guided me over the years in many ways, and I followed his steps in many of these positions. And I must say that there is in English an expression that in these administrative positions, friends come and go and enemies accumulate. And it's obvious why, because anybody who asks you for something and you agree and grant him, it's obvious he deserved it. So it's nothing. But if you did not, oh, he will never forget it to you, and so on. And what I can say, and what you heard here from all these people before me, is that Shalom had no enemies. Although he went through all these positions, people liked him, people continued to like him, and even when sometimes there were arguments, and Chabash mentioned some, and since I was dean at the time, I know of some. He was very special, Shalom, in this respect. Now, as was mentioned here earlier, after Chaim Pekeris and Joe Gillis from the Weizmann Institute, Shalom really became the dean of applied mathematics in Israel. It's not something official, but he was really the dean of applied mathematics in Israel. And I want to say a few personal things, because Shalom and I were very close in many ways. I will start with an anecdote. During Shalom's time as rector, he was hospitalized at the Sheba Medical Center, the hospital, He had a luckily non-malignant tumor. And I came to visit him, and you know, hospitals in Israel are usually very crowded, and even people sometimes are in the alleys, in beds in the alleys. And I came, and Shalom had a small room, but just for himself. This was university hospitals, of course. This influenced this. And you know, in Israel, in Hebrew, there is the word, the Russian word for protection. We say protektia. It doesn't mean protection in this sense, but it means that you can get something that maybe you don't deserve due to the. And I came in and I said to Shalom, wow, you have a whole room for yourself. And he said, Dany, you should learn, if you have relations and connections, you don't need protektia. And another thing was that Yossi, who was mentioned here so often, was the boss of my daughter in the Army Intelligence Department. And later on, when he moved up, she took over that department. And Shalom came to me and said, you know, Dany, the department stays in the family. Because Shalom and I really felt like family in many ways. And Joan was mentioned here, so I will not go into that, but of course I knew Joan well also. And one other thing that I want to tell about Yossi. As you heard, Shalom was advising defense committees and all kinds of things, and he had high security pass and so on. And he once asked Yossi, because Yossi was in the intelligence going the 8200 unit, as many of you know the unit. And he asked Yossi, what are you doing there? Tell me, can you tell me what are you doing? And Yossi said to him, can you keep a secret? Shalom said, of course. And Yossi said, so can I. Okay. I spoke with Shalom on Thursday, a week and a day before he passed away. I came home and I said to my wife, Shalom didn't look well. He looked as if he aged. Apparently he already felt bad, and we didn't see him the next week at the university, and on Friday we heard the news. But he worked until the last moment, as you heard here from Giora, for instance, both on committees here and advisory and so on, and also for NASA. In fact, in October or November, I'm not sure, because at that time I didn't pay that attention, he still was in the United States. So what we say again, that he died with his boots on. So what can I say? May he rest in peace. Thank you.